makeup and just stage makeup in general. So the first thing that I always like to do is just get it kind of ready, get all my stuff put out, just so that I have everything in front of me. So the first thing that we're gonna use is our foundation. This is Hannah's foundation, so we're just gonna use this Neutrogena one. Really, any full coverage foundation works. You can get it from Target, Walgreens, doesn't matter where, just that it's full coverage and that you make sure you have a strong base to start with. So we're gonna open this up and take a little beauty blender or sponge. It doesn't really matter what you use as long as it's good at blending in your base foundation and your concealer. So we're gonna start by taking just a little bit of this right onto our beauty blender. We're just gonna make little dots all over Hannah's face. And so this is how we start. I always just do little dots on the face to make sure that I don't get too much and don't get too little. So now that we're done with our foundation, we're gonna move on to our concealer. So for Hannah, we're gonna use this Neutrogena just CC cream that you can also get at Target or at Walgreens. Wherever you shop, you'll be able to find this drugstore makeup. It doesn't have to be some fancy brand to be able to do what it needs to do. So I'm gonna start by taking this and putting it right in between her brows, under her eyes, and then on her chin and on the tip of her nose. So it'll look kind of like that. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that in with the foundation. Again, that's why it's important to have a good, just like sponge or beauty blender, anything like that. This will be really helpful and key. Okay, so now we have Hannah's base finished. You definitely want to make sure that just everything looks nice and blended. You don't want anything to look splotchy or like you haven't blended it all the way. So again, beauty blender is key. So next we're gonna do just the rest of our base makeup. So we're gonna take some of this powder, which is just kind of like a matte powder. It doesn't, again, have to be a certain brand. It can really be anything that you're comfortable using and that works with your skin. Make sure also that you get the right color. You don't want to go on stage looking orange or too pale. You want to get the right color for your skin tone, and that makes you feel comfortable. So we're just going to take a powder brush. It can be anything like this, or even sometimes they come with a little like kind of sponge under here. You can use that. We all just kind of prefer to use brushes. So we're just going to put a little bit right on the top and just come through and just brush it all over her face. Again, just helping blend things out, making everything look nice and smooth. Now, if it's your first time doing nutcracker makeup or anything like this, you're gonna make sure that you wanna go all the way under the chin. So you don't wanna just stop right at your jawline and have a line. You definitely wanna blend it all in. And you can use powder to do this, or you can even do it with your foundation, but I just genuinely go right underneath the chin and just kind of dust everything right into place. Okay, so next we're gonna do just like a light blush. It doesn't have to be anything too heavy, but we definitely wanna make sure that she isn't washed out and isn't too pale. So we're just gonna take her regular blush. We're gonna use this pinkish color right here. And we're, once again, just gonna use a powder brush, nothing big. Just put a little bit on. You definitely don't wanna put too much, but we're gonna put it right here on her cheekbones to make sure that it's all nice and rosy cheeks. Okay, so now another brush that you could use with that is just a fan brush, anything like this. Just for this one, you're gonna wanna lightly dust like this and then just come right on the cheekbone, almost like you're just dusting. Okay, so now that we're done with blush, we're gonna move on to the next part of our makeup. Honestly, the most important part about any stage makeup is a good eye. We want to have nice, pretty, blended, bold eye makeup so that you definitely stand out on the stage. So to do this, we're gonna start with a base. You definitely want to get a white base. You don't want to have anything too dark or anything that makes you look like you have a bruised eye. So we're going to start with a white base. So we're just going to take either a little sponge like this or a little brush like this just to get us started. So I'm going to rub the white.
This video too.
Oh, perfect. So we're going to rub the white right on here, and then it'll be on the sponge just like this. And then we're going to start with her eye makeup. So we're just going to put this right on the eyelid. Okay, so now you can see that we have a nice white to start with our entire makeup. We're going to come back to our white eventually, so don't put that away yet. But next we're going to find a nice dark brown, or just like a good brown to start with. So we're going to use this palette that she has to use a brown. And we're going to go ahead and start with kind of this lighter brown. Okay, so we're just going to put a little bit on there to start of this brown right here, and we're going to put this in the crease of your eyelid. So where your eye will open, you're going to want to get it right back, basically right above the white that you just put down. You're also going to want to wing this. So as you can see, Hannah has a nice wing right now. You don't want to go too far out, so don't go all the way back to your hairline. You're going to want to stop about where the end of your eye is. And this is just how we're going to start with our wings. We definitely are not finished here. So as you can see, Hannah has a nice wing on both sides in kind of a lightish brown. So after we're done with the brown, we're going to take our white again and do another little layer of white above where you just did your brown line. So you're going to want to do it in between the eyebrow and the brown line, just to make sure that we keep this area up here nice and light. So now that we're done with that white, we're going to come back to it in a few minutes, but first we're going to finish our dark wing. So we're going to take a little bit of a darker brown this time, something kind of like this. Again, as long as it's a dark brown, it doesn't matter which brand you buy or what you use. So we're just going to take a little bit and we're going to start to blend this in with the white so that it looks nice and pretty at the end. So I like to do little circular movements just because it helps it blend so much easier. But if you already have a way of blending your eye makeup together, then stick with what you know best. So as you can see, we've gone from a tiny brown wing to a darker brown wing and a little bit thicker. That's what's going to help her eye makeup stick out a lot more. Okay, so now that we've got our dark brown set, we're going to go back to our white and make sure that we just touch up all the edges, make sure it looks nice and clean. Now, one thing to go ahead and expect is that it's going to be dark. It's going to look very, very bold. Don't be nervous by that. It's supposed to be. When the lights hit your face on the stage, it'll wash it out a lot, and it'll look like you just have simple eye makeup on. But here, it's gonna look pretty crazy and pretty bold. So next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna use eyeliner. Eyeliner is also a very personalized thing. There's definitely two different kinds you can use. So there's stuff like this, where it's gonna be a little bit more of a brush, which is what we're gonna use on Hannah. And this is liquid. This is liquid liner, which I honestly think is a little bit easier to use. But if you prefer pencil, you can use a pencil liner. There's also these, which are like eyeliner pens. So it looks just like a regular pen would, but it's eyeliner. I personally like to use the eyeliner pen, but again, it's up to you. And today we're gonna use this one on Hannah. Okay, so first things first, eyeliner is very difficult to do and it takes lots of years to practice. So if you don't get on your first try, it's okay. You just have to have a very steady hand with doing it. So I'm gonna start at the crease of Hannah's eye and go outward. Another thing is you don't want a huge wing of eyeliner. You wanna stay very minimal so that you don't look crazy. So we're gonna start at the crease of her eye and just slowly kind of brush and move outward. So that's how it looks without the wing. It's just a straight black line and you're looking great. Now, to add a little wing, what we're gonna do is we're gonna see where our brown ends and where our eye ends. So we're gonna go to the very end of your eye line and then just take it up a little bit and give us a nice little point. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can switch it up a little bit. You can use a makeup wipe to kind of push it up just so that it gets a little bit pointier, or honestly, you can just leave it how it is and just add a little bit to the end and make it a little bit more winged. So next, what we're gonna do is under eye. Under eye is also very important. Okay, so be very careful if anybody is doing this for you. You definitely don't wanna poke the person in the eye with the ink. That's very dangerous. So we're just gonna be very, very gentle and go right underneath Hannah's eyelashes in her waterline and just pull it right up to meet the other line. Now, like I said, it can kind of be rough, but that's okay. You can always use a makeup wipe to touch it up in the end. Okay, once eyeliner is done, we're gonna go back with our white powder and just kind of brush over it so that the line is not just super, super dark black. So we're just gonna touch it up and go right over top just to kind of dull it out a little bit. You definitely wanna wait for this to dry. You don't wanna mess it up, especially if you've done a good line. So that's one side, and that's with one type of eyeliner. Now I'm gonna use my eyeliner pen just to show you the difference between a thicker ink and a liquid ink that's just in a pen form. I'm gonna come on the other side of Hannah. Now, with the pen, it's a lot easier to start at the crease just because it's like you're holding a pencil. And we use pencils basically every day, so it's gonna be a lot easier. But you're just gonna pull this just like you did with the other one out to the corner of your eye. Now you can see that this one is a little bit thinner, so if you like a thicker eyeliner, then you're gonna wanna use the other one because it's just easier to get a thicker line that way. But next we're gonna do the wing, so we're gonna pull right from the corner of her eye and just go a little ways up, but not too far. Don't wanna go out too far. Now, to do the under eye, again, be very careful. It's very easy to stick somebody in the eye with one of these. So I'm just gonna look at Hannah's eye line, find where her waterline is, and just go right up to meet the other line. Just like that. And you can point it out a little bit so that it looks more like an eyeliner line. So that's the difference between the two of them. I honestly think it's easier to use the pen, so you may want to use a pen, but it's totally fine if you want to use something else. Okay, now for everybody's favorite part of Nutcracker makeup, fake eyelashes. So it's very important to use fake eyelashes because no matter what size your lashes are, you're gonna need a fake eyelash to make them just look longer and more beautiful and so that they're seen from the stage. So I tend to buy packs of 6 when I'm buying my lashes. So you can see I'm almost out of these, which I need to get more. But these sold at Target, like $8, $9, and then you'll have 6 pairs for a long time. Now, I typically use mine for 1 or 2 shows because they are reusable if you take good care of them. But I normally only use 1 pair for like 1 or 2 shows, give or take. So the next thing that you're gonna wanna get is some of this eyelash adhesive. So it's just like normal eyelash glue. It's easier to have the brush on it too, just because it's easier to get it on and off the lashes. But we're gonna take this, we're just gonna open it up and then grab one of the lashes. Now, one thing that you wanna realize about fake lashes is there's gonna be a longer end and a shorter end. The shorter end goes to the crease of the eye. So we're gonna take this first lash and put a little bit of glue on it. You're definitely gonna wanna get a lot of glue on the corners because that's where it's gonna need to stick the most. So I always let mine dry for a second before I put it on because it gets it a little bit more sticky and easier to put down. But you can always put it on and then blow on it. So Hannah's going to close her eye, and I'm just going to put this right at the crease of her eye, and then just press it down all the way, kind of following that eyeliner line. Now, before she opens her eye, I'm going to blow on it a little bit just to make sure it's nice and stuck. Now, when Hannah opens her eye, voila. She has one almost fully done eye and then another eye that hasn't put the lash on yet. As you can see, it makes a big difference in how her eye looks and just how it's different for everyone using these eyelashes. It makes a huge difference. So they're definitely important. Okay, now we're gonna do the next eye. Okay, so now we're gonna do the next eyelash. We're gonna do the same process where we put a good amount of glue right on the top line. Definitely put it by the corners so that it sticks really well and lasts a really long time, because you don't want these falling off or just being itchy throughout your show. So this is what it looks like with the glue on it. It's kind of like a little bluish line, and you're just going to make sure that you can match it up with your eye and get it nice and stuck on there. Okay, so Hannah now has both eyelashes on, and we're so close to being done with our Nutcracker makeup. Now, if you're watching this and you're an open school parent, you can just use mascara. It's really hard to get fake lashes on smaller children, and it's just difficult all around to do a smaller child's makeup, but definitely use mascara. You're gonna need just some little lift in their eye makeup. So just put on a little bit more mascara than you feel necessary, especially if your child is younger in the parts like a cupcake or a bunny. Eyelashes are still important. So next, I'm gonna have Hannah do her own mascara so that I do not poke her eye out. But she's just gonna brush it on like she would with normal lashes. Fake lashes don't really change anything. You're still gonna need mascara underneath them to lift them up and make sure that they blend in with your lashes very well. Now she's gonna do her underlash mascara. You don't need fake eyelashes for your underlashes. All you need is a little bit of mascara to make your eyes look huge and big and ready for the stage. Okay, so now another really important part of stage makeup is eyebrows. I always keep them till last. I normally try to tackle those as late as possible in my makeup routine just because it takes a minute to get your eyebrows correct. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna take another dark brown for Hannah. Since Hannah already has pretty dark eyebrows, there's not too much that you need to do with it, just kind of the basic stuff.
Can I just brush it out too?
Perfect. So I'm going to use this little brush to brush out hers, but if you have like a spoolie or like an extra little brush or pen for your eyebrows, you can use that as well, but I'm just personally gonna use this for Hannah. So we're just gonna start by taking that light brown again and just barely putting a lot on hers, since she definitely already has darker eyebrows. As you can see, I am not blessed with that dark of eyebrows, so I have to do a lot more to mine than she has to do to hers. But we're just gonna take it and kind of touch up any spots that we see lighter or needs just a little bit of a touch up. And as you can see, that already does a lot to add to the makeup. So we're just gonna touch it up a little bit, and then we're gonna blend it out with her brush. So just like that, one of Hannah's eyebrows is done. Now we're gonna do the other one just to make sure that it matches and looks all put together. Okay, now we're done with Hannah's eyebrows, and now the entire eye and just everywhere around the eye is all put together and looks just so great. So the last and final touch of our Nutcracker makeup is the lipstick. Now, we do have a set lipstick for our company and open school members to make sure that we all match. And this is one of the options. So it's a Revlon lipstick, and it is the color Satin Ink My Own Boss. So here's the number, just in case you need to grab it. Again, sold at Target, but this is a very powerful lipstick, and it also lasts for a really long time. So make sure that when you put this on your child or when you put it on as a dancer, no costumes or anything is near it. Clothing even sometimes it can get stained too, and then it's just super hard to get out. So we want to keep lipstick away from costumes and away from clothing. So definitely be very careful when using this. Okay, so I'm going to have Hannah rub her lips together and then just go ahead and touch it up. This is the set color again, so you do have to use this kinds of lipstick, and this is the really only part of makeup that we require our dancers to all be uniform in. Now, if you have anything, any questions, you can always come to the front desk and ask. Everybody here pretty much knows the exact way to do Nutcracker makeup because it stays the same every year. We also sell makeup kits at the front desk that you can get to use. It comes with a bunch of these colors. It comes with everything that you will need really to put on besides mascara. Now that we're done with our makeup look, we're just going to put a little bit of a touch-up on the lipstick to make sure it stays and doesn't get on anything. So we're just going to take this powder again and lightly put a little bit on the brush. And then Hannah's going to look at me, and we're just going to lightly kind of put the powder right on the lips, just so that it doesn't get everywhere over her costumes when she starts doing quick changes and pulling stuff on and off. This will keep the lipstick on her lips instead of on her costumes. So this is our final Nutcracker look.
Like, turn around.
We have the bun, the makeup, everything is put together, and she is stage ready. Now, if you are a company member, remember your earrings, anything like that. Make sure you always have your lipstick on, always have fake eyelashes on. Every piece that we've done today is very important to put the whole look together. So we need to all look uniform in that. And this is how you do everything. Thanks for watching.
Bye. Thank you.